Bellator 259 Cyborg versus Smith 2 just recently wrapped up. We had an entertaining card with a lot of interesting matchups overall. Some solid predictions, some losses, but some excellent wins, some big dog pickups. Was a great card, was a lot of fun. We're going to talk about it all the way up from the bottom, first fight of the night, all the way up to the top to the Chris Cyborg main event. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new here, and let's start it off. The first fight of the night. Alexander Shabalie versus Alfie Davis. Was a good pick on this one for Shabalie. Technically superior, wins with takedowns, control. He beats Alfie Davis, moves forward now in this lightweight division, not towards necessarily contendership, but he's a guy to keep an eye on inside of the Bellator lightweight division. Tough Russian cat, and these Russian fighters are no joke here. Disappointing loss for the fun British fighter and MVP teammate Alfie Davis, but the better man was Alexander Shabalie, and that's why he won the fight. We will see what's next for him. Don't have an exact opponent, but I was impressed by the performance nonetheless. The next fight, Danny Sabatello, Brett Johns. Dog of the week came through. Sabatello with the unanimous decision. Also, the fight goes the distance prop. That was a solid one. Big win for Danny Sabatello. The Italian gangster beats Brett Johns here. I was impressed by the grappling control, dominating Brett Johns, who is known as a pretty damn good grappler. Sabatello is a problem. I think he works towards contendership. I think that he deserves a fairly high-level fight now in the Bellator bantamweight division here, because beating a name like Brett Johns, though he wasn't ranked by Bellator, he's a former UFC fighter who's coming off of wins inside of the UFC. So Danny Sabatello is absolutely no joke and a top-flight level guy in Bellator. Liam McCoy, Janae Harding. Tough one to swallow there. We had the dog Janae Harding, and she looked to be en route to victory. Unfortunately, gets caught with a massive up kick, down and put in a triangle, and then she's forced to tap. She was winning that fight. If she would have stayed on the feet, she probably would have got the knockout of Liam McCoy. It was Janae's fight to lose there, and she was just in a bad situation, bad position, and she was caught. She tried to grapple a bit with McCoy, I think a bit too much. I think she was getting too confident, and she also got caught by just a not fluky, but a tricky up kick, which is not super common. Leah McCoy gets the win. She moves forward in this division. Maybe a fight versus someone who fought later on in this card, and we'll talk about that after. But definitely a contender now in that weight class. It's not very thick. It's a thin weight class. Davion Franklin versus Tyler King. Davion Franklin put it on Tyler King, who did not look like he should be fighting professionally. It was sad to see. He got dominated. He got destroyed, truly. He should not be fighting pro anymore. I think he should retire. He's over the age of 40, coming up on 41 years old. I think they have to stop him from fighting pro. He looks very awkward and uncomfortable on the feet. I don't think he has the skills to be a top guy. Davion Franklin knocks him out in that first round. It was not competitive. There was no moment that I thought, oh, maybe he should still fight. No, he should call it. For Davion, he moves forward. He's going to be given maybe a little step up in competition, because this was a bit of a softball with a guy with a bad losing streak in Tyler King. He's lost several fights by first round knockout in a row. Davion Franklin was the most recent to do that to him. Cashed on that one, too. The fight doesn't go the distance play. Was a money play on that one if you guys played it. But Davion Franklin, as expected, victorious. Aviv Gazzali versus Sean Felton. Aviv was a pick. No bet on him here. But he wins the fight against Sean Felton by submission early. Got the leg. Taps him out. Heel hook. First round, 1:17. The jiu-jitsu skill set of Aviv Gazzali are real. And I think he really proved that in this fight. I am excited to see where he takes it in this lightweight division. He's a tricky grappler. He could work towards the top if he's able to fight some better competition. Beat a 5-2 guy here who now moves to 5-3. We'll see what's next for Aviv Gazzali. I don't have an exact name, but someone that's going to be around Bellator. Sean will probably not be in Bellator anymore, but maybe they keep him around and feed him to another guy they're trying to build. Seems like that's the way Bellator likes to go. Another prelim bout here, Sumuki Uematsu. I think she had way too tough of a fight versus Christina Katsidis, as she should have. You look at that first round, I mean, Christina landed a couple takedowns, awkward stand-up, just odd fight. I was very happy to see Uematsu get the finish, but at 30 years of age, she needs to make a run towards the top of the weight class. I think she's got some work to do before she can compete with those upper echelon of girls. But still, nonetheless, is a win. She beats Christina Katsidis. She wins this fight by a TKO in the third round. Getting the finish was important, and she did do that. We did pick her, and she did win. But no bets on the line here, but Uematsu with the victory is a good one. Developing fighter, though. And at 30, I don't know if she can make a run towards the top. Grant Neal destroys Tyree Fortune. Tyree just didn't really want to be there. He got submitted in the first round. He was taken down. He was controlled a bit, ground and pounded. I think he needs to get down to 185. He doesn't have the muscle mass for 205, and he's lanky. I think he could be good at 85. At 205, he's outmatched. Grant Neal is a savage, and he put on a good display here against Tyree Fortune, getting the win. He's a tank. He's jacked. I mean, I'm impressed. I think Grant Neal at light heavyweight is actually a real player in Bellator here. I don't know about him fighting for the world title, but I think he can work up to at least being a top flight contender. Good skill set, power, physically very strong, and some solid wrestling. Let's see where he can take it after he chokes out Tyree Fortune. That was a good victory in that one and a good pick as well. Awad versus Nate Andrews. Man, Nate Andrews beat Rashid Magomedov. I don't know what. I don't know how. Awad destroyed him on the feet. Luckily, no bet on the line in this one, but Awad goes out there and gets a knockout. That would have been the play, knockout prop. I thought he might have been shot, but absolutely not. I think he's still got something left in him. He's a fun guy to keep around in the lightweight division. He makes it entertaining. He can brawl. He's got some decent submissions. Overall, he's a very solid fighter, and I am impressed with Awad. I really was. He put a beating on Nate Andrews. So congrats to him with the great performance. Excited to see what we have next for Syed. I think Nate's probably not going to be in Bellator. I don't know. Let's see if they keep him around. After leaving PFL, he's got to be thinking, damn, that was a mistake, unless, unfortunately, he got cut. But disappointing to leave and get this result in your first fight in Bellator. Bad loss. Bad loss. The next fight brings us to the main card. Valerie Loreta versus Hanagai. Nobody expected this outcome, but the bet was way too heavy at minus 575 for a girl who's just 3-0. Hanagai put it on her on the ground. First round, Valerie Loreta dropped her. Definitely was the better striker, but on the ground, advantage was Hanagai's. Controlled her with the grappling. Works toward a competitive decision. Definitely think that she deserved that decision, and she beats Valerie Loreta here, who was a hot prospect, attractive girl who Bellator was definitely trying to build as a future contender. Maybe still will be. I mean, she's only 22. She's got a ton of experience left to get, and I don't think they should be closing the book on her just yet. Just a tough loss here against a difficult girl to fight who had a fair amount of amateur experience and had a good grappling game, which Laredo just wasn't ready for yet. Hanagai will be around. I don't understand how Loreta was ranked number 8 in that flyweight division. I guess now Guy is ranked, and she has just 4 pro fights. I don't know. That's a thin weight class. Let's look at it. Women's flyweight. Interesting to see a 3-1 fighter. Now, maybe we'll see her ranked in there. I don't know what the matchups will be. We'll find out. I don't know how Bellator is going to want to play it. They'll probably still be giving girls outside of those rankings the fights here. But maybe Hanagai will be forced to fight good competition because they don't have that same money behind her. Jaleel Willis, Macon Mendoza. We picked Jaleel here, and he did it. Hard-fought win. Definitely had value if you could get him as a dog. Had value as a slight favorite as well. Takedowns, boxing. Overall, Jaleel Willis worked towards a hard-fought win over Macon Mendoza. Mendoza is no joke. He's a solid fighter, but Jaleel Willis earned it with the wrestling. He got it done. In striking range, kickboxing range, the kicks of Mendoza were very effective. The boxing in close of Willis was very good. The wrestling was also very good, and that's why Willis won the fight. He moves forward here. I don't know where he goes at welterweight. Let's see if they bring him up against some top guys. I don't believe he's ranked, but let me double check on that because I may be wrong here. Yeah, he's not ranked yet, but he definitely could be working towards being ranked after this win over Macon Mendoza, or at least fighting someone that will get him close to it. Big win. Macon will be around too. He's an entertaining guy, and both guys are definitely Bellator caliber. Austin Vanderford versus Fabian Edwards. The grappling is too much. Our boy Fabian did not get it done. We thought he could maybe win a close split decision. Ultimately, Austin Vanderford controlled the fight on the ground. Superior wrestler, superior grappler. Some beautiful elbows cut up Vanderford from the bottom for Edwards, but not enough to win the fight. He loses here. Vanderford moves forward. He's a top contender now. I actually like the Costello-Van Steenis fight for Vanderford before he fights for a world title. I don't want to rush him into that world title fight just yet. I think he needs one more. I think you go Vanderford versus Van Steenis. I think that's the next fight. That's what I would play, and that's the pick for me. And I think that's an interesting fight. For Fabian Edwards, going to be pushed back a bit. I don't know. Maybe do they give him Ed Ruth? That's a tricky wrestler, though. They might give him like a Mike Shipman, Charlie Ward. I don't know exactly where they go with Fabian Edwards. But for Vanderford, I'm going Costello Van Steenis for him. Right. The co-main event of the evening saw a big upset, a very big upset that not a lot of people were on. But Leandro Higo beat Darrion Caldwell. He won that fight by a decision, split decision, close bout. Caldwell, though, after dominating that first fight with a quick submission, Leandro Higo put it on him in the rematch. He was coming for vengeance. He was upset about that first fight. He was most definitely really upset about that first fight, and that's why he put it on him here and put on a great display. Great performance for Leandro Higo in a competitive fight with Darrion Caldwell. Both had their moments here, but ultimately, Leandro Higo leads the dance. He moves forward as a top contender in Bellator now. Where is the rankings of that bantamweight division? He beats the former champ. I think you got to match Higo up against a top guy now. You got to move him towards somebody good. Maybe Stotts and Higo next. That's something I'm not opposed to at all. Or do they give him Magomedov? Do they throw him to the Wolves? We'll see. I don't know. Depends what they're looking for, but I think Higo can stand in there with the best of them. Beating Caldwell was a great win for him. A hard-fought performance. For Darrion Caldwell, if I have to pick an opponent, maybe you give him a step back and give him Cass Bell, or maybe they put him in there against somebody like Josh Hill, or even Rafael Stotts. I mean, no guarantees. We don't see him fighting a top-flight guy next, even though he just lost this fight. Still, though, disappointing loss for the former champ, but I believe he will bounce back and is still a player at 135 for sure. In the main event, Chris Cyborg worked to a very hard-fought win, but dominant over Leslie Smith. Advantage Cyborg on the feet was evident, on the ground was evident, pretty much better everywhere. She got the fight stopped very late. We had the inside the distance bet on Chris Cyborg. She cashed extremely late, so that was great that she did, but it was looking like it was going towards a decision. Leslie Smith has a steel chin. She takes multiple big shots, got dropped multiple times in the fight, continued to sit in the pocket and fight. I am extremely impressed by her. I think maybe you do Leah McCourt versus Leslie Smith next. And I think Chris Cyborg, Kat Zingano is probably next. That's the fights to do. Those are the fights that I expect to be done. Overall, though, was an enjoyable main event, and Chris Cyborg was patient and poised, showed a new wrinkle to her game, better takedowns, control from the top, ground and pound, and unloaded the strikes and was patient with them and still hurt Leslie Smith, whose chin is steel. Steel chin. She got knocked out, but she has a steel chin. Overall, was a pretty good Bellator card with some good results for us. I enjoyed all of the fights, called it live on the channel, the full card play-by-play. If you guys tuned into that, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed this video too, just quickly running through the card. Overall, good performance by Bellator. Wasn't their best card of the year, but was definitely a solid one, and I enjoyed watching. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new here. Thank you all for tuning in. Also, guys, follow my social media, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And I will see you all in the next video.